Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing today? I hope you're all doing great. My name is Daniel, and I want to tell you something that changed my life. I was born into poverty, in a small town where dreams were just fantasies. People told me, "You will never succeed. You have no money, no education, and no connections." But I didn't listen. I had something greater, a burning desire to achieve my dream. I wanted to build the greatest hospital in my country, a place where people could receive the best medical care no matter how poor they were. But how could I, a boy with nothing, achieve something so big? That's when I learned the first law of success. Success begins with a strong desire. If you truly want something with all your heart, the universe will open doors for you. But desire alone is not enough. You must believe in yourself and take action every day. I started by reading books, studying successful people, and working at a local clinic. I was just a helper, cleaning floors and carrying supplies, but I knew I was getting closer to my dream. One day, Dr. Carter, a wise and experienced doctor, noticed me. He said, "Daniel, I see something in you. You don't just dream, you act. That is the key to success. Come, I will teach you." That moment changed my life. Now I want you to remember this. If you truly desire success, start today. Learn, work, and never stop believing. Success is not luck. It is created by those who refuse to give up. I continued working with Dr. Carter, learning everything I could. He taught me about medicine, leadership, and the importance of helping others. But one day, as I struggled with a difficult task, he looked at me and said, "Daniel, do you believe you can succeed?" I hesitated. I think so." He shook his head. "Think? That's not enough. You must believe with all your heart. This is the second law of success, faith. You must see yourself as successful before anyone else does." That night, I thought deeply about his words. I realized that doubts had been holding me back. People had told me I couldn't do it, and deep inside, I had started believing them. From that day forward, I made a decision. I would never doubt myself again. I started visualizing my success. Every morning, I stood in front of a mirror and said, "I will become a great doctor. I will build the best hospital. I will help thousands of people." Something changed inside me. I felt stronger, more confident. When I faced challenges, I no longer feared failure. I knew I would overcome them because I had faith in myself and my dream. One evening, Dr. Carter smiled at me. "You're ready, Daniel. You have the mind of a winner. Now it's time for the next step." I didn't know what the next step was, but I was ready, because now I had unstoppable faith. Faith is seeing success before it happens. If you believe in yourself, the world will believe in you too. Dr. Carter had told me I was ready for the next step, but I didn't realize that meant working harder than ever before. One morning, he handed me a heavy medical book. "Memorize this," he said. I opened the book. It was filled with complicated words and diagrams. I felt overwhelmed. "Dr. Carter, this is impossible," I said. He smiled. "Nothing is impossible if you work hard enough. This is the third law of success. Success has a price, and that price is hard work. I sighed but nodded. From that day on, I woke up before sunrise and studied until late at night. My friends went out to have fun, but I stayed back reading, practicing, and learning. Some nights I was so tired that my eyes burned. Sometimes I wanted to quit, but I remembered my dream, and I kept going. The test of hard work. One day, Dr. Carter called me into the operating room. "Daniel, today you assist me in surgery." I froze. "Me? But I'm not ready." He looked at me firmly. "You have studied, you have trained, you have worked hard. Now prove to yourself that you are ready." I took a deep breath and stepped forward. My hands shook as I passed him the surgical tools, but slowly my confidence grew. The operation was successful, and when it was over, Dr. Carter patted my back. "You see, Daniel, hard work prepares you for the opportunities life gives you. If you had not worked hard, you would have failed today. But you succeeded because you were ready." That day I learned a powerful lesson. There are no shortcuts to success. You must work harder than everyone else, even when no one is watching. The laws of success so far. 1. Desire. You must want success more than anything. 2. Faith. You must believe in yourself even when no one else does. 3. Hard work. There are no shortcuts. Success is earned, not given. But my journey was far from over. The biggest challenge was yet to come. For years, I worked harder than I ever thought possible. I studied, assisted in surgeries, and learned from Dr. Carter. I felt confident. I believed I was ready to take the next step, to become a real doctor. Then I faced my greatest challenge. One day, Dr. Carter approached me with a serious expression. "Daniel, there is a medical school offering scholarships. You should apply." I was excited. This was my chance. I spent weeks preparing, studying harder than ever. When the exam day arrived, I walked in feeling ready. But when the results came back, my heart sank. I failed. I couldn't believe it. After all my hard work, all my sacrifices, I had failed. I locked myself in my room, ashamed and disappointed. Maybe everyone was right. Maybe I wasn't meant to succeed. The turning point. After 2 days, Dr. Carter knocked on my door. "Daniel, get up." I didn't move. "I failed, doctor. I don't deserve to try again." He sighed and sat beside me. "Daniel, do you know the fourth law of success?" I shook my head. "Failure is not the end. It is the beginning." I looked at him, confused. Every great person fails before they succeed. The difference between winners and losers is that winners keep going. Do you want to be a loser? I clenched my fists. No. Then stand up. Learn from your mistakes. Study harder. Try again. Success is not about never falling. It's about getting up every time you fall. His words woke something inside me. I wiped my tears and stood up. I would not quit. For the next 6 months, I worked harder than ever. I found my weaknesses and improved them. I refused to give up. When I took the exam again, I passed with one of the highest scores. As I held my acceptance letter, I realized something. Failure is a lesson, not a defeat. The only way to fail is to quit. The laws of success so far. 1. Desire. Want success more than anything. 2. Faith. Believe in yourself even when no one else does. 3. Hard work. There are no shortcuts. Success is earned. 4. Overcoming failure. Failure is not the end, it is a lesson. But my journey was far from over. Medical school was waiting, and so were new challenges. I had made it into medical school. I thought the hardest part was over. I was wrong. Medical school was a battlefield. The workload was intense, the competition was fierce, and the pressure was overwhelming. Some students gave up, others barely slept. In my first semester, I struggled. The complex medical terms, the endless studying, and the long hospital shifts drained me. One night, after failing a difficult test, I sat alone in my dorm room, exhausted and frustrated. "Maybe I'm not good enough," I whispered. Then I remembered Dr. Carter's words. "Success belongs to those who refuse to quit." That was the fifth law of success. Persistence. The test of persistence. I made a decision. I would never quit, no matter how hard it got. I developed a strict routine. I woke up before dawn, studied while others slept, and practiced my skills every chance I got. Every failure became a lesson. Every struggle became motivation. One day my professor gave us a challenge. "Only the best students will assist in this critical surgery," he said. I wasn't the smartest in my class. Many students were naturally gifted, but I had something more powerful: persistence. While others took breaks, I kept practicing. While others doubted themselves, I told myself, "I will succeed." The day of the selection came. When my name was called, I felt chills. I had earned my place, not because I was the smartest, but because I refused to give up. That day, I learned a truth that changed my life. Talent is important, but persistence wins in the end. The laws of success so far: persistence. Never quit no matter how hard it gets. But the journey wasn't over yet. A final test awaited me, the biggest challenge of my life. Years passed, and I was finally nearing the end of medical school. I had learned the power of desire, faith, hard work, overcoming failure, and persistence. But one final test would determine if I was truly ready to become a doctor. It happened on a stormy night. I was on duty at the hospital when the emergency room doors burst open. Nurses rushed in, pushing a young boy on a stretcher. He was barely breathing. His parents cried, "Please save our son." The senior doctors were busy with other patients. The responsibility fell on me. My heart pounded. This was it, my moment of truth, the moment of decision. For a second, fear gripped me. What if I made a mistake? What if I failed? Then I remembered the sixth law of success. Take action. Success belongs to those who step forward. I took a deep breath and chose to act. I examined the boy, diagnosed the problem, and started treatment. I remembered everything I had learned, the books, the training, the surgeries. Minutes felt like hours. But finally, the boy's breathing stabilized. His mother grabbed my hands, tears in her eyes. "You saved him. Thank you, doctor." At that moment, I realized I was no longer just a student. I had become a doctor. The final law of success. Dr. Carter visited me the next day. He smiled and said, "Daniel, you have learned the final law of success. Success comes to those who take action. Many people have dreams, but few take the step forward. You did, and now you are ready." Tears filled my eyes. I had started as a poor boy with nothing but a dream. Now I was a doctor, ready to build the greatest hospital in my country. I had learned that success is not given. It is earned through action, struggle, and never giving up. And now I ask you, are you ready to take action toward your dream? The 6 laws of success. 1. Desire. Want success more than anything. Faith. Believe in yourself even when no one else does. Hard work. There are no shortcuts. Success is earned. 4. Overcoming failure. Failure is not the end, it is a lesson. Persistence. Never quit, no matter how hard it gets. Action. Success belongs to those who step forward. This is the end of my journey, but your journey is just beginning. Years passed, and I built the hospital I had always dreamed of. Patients came from all over the country, and no one was turned away because they were poor. I had achieved my goal. But one day, as I walked through the hospital halls, I saw a young man sitting outside my office. His clothes were worn, his eyes filled with determination. He stood up and said, "Dr. Daniel, I want to be a doctor like you." I smiled because I saw myself in him. That day, I realized the 7th and greatest law of success. True success is not just achieving your dreams. It is helping others achieve theirs. I took the young man under my wing just as Dr. Carter had helped me. I taught him everything I knew. Years later, he too became a doctor and he helped train others. My success had not ended with me. It had created a chain of success. The final lesson. Now, as I stand in front of you, I ask you one question. What will your legacy be? Success is not just about reaching the top. It's about lifting others as you climb. It's about leaving the world better than you found it. The true law of success is this: pass it on, inspire others, leave a legacy. The 7 laws of success. 1. Desire. Want success more than anything. 2. Faith. Believe in yourself even when no one else does. Hard work. There are no shortcuts. Success is earned. 4. Overcoming failure. Failure is not the end. It is a lesson. 5. Persistence. Never quit, no matter how hard it gets. 6. Action. Success belongs to those who step forward. 7. Legacy. True success is helping others succeed. My story is complete. Now, it is your turn. What will you do with your life? How will you change the world? The answer is in your hands. Moral of the story: success begins with a dream, but it is achieved through action. Failure is not the end. It is a lesson that makes you stronger. Hard work and persistence will always outshine talent. Believing in yourself is the first step toward success. True success is not just about achieving your own goals, but helping others achieve theirs. Success is not about where you start, but how determined you are to keep going.